Good evening, everybody. Welcome to God, Freedom, and Bitcoin. What a great video. I'm Janet Gatewood here with my husband, Todd Gatewood.
Wow, it's a late night here at the Bitcoin Ben Crypto Club here in Brentwood, and we are looking forward to a great conversation with you guys.
Yeah, it's Thursday evening. We haven't got a specific time that we do these shows, but we do it when we can fit it in. And as you can see from the video that we just played recently, I got to go to Sarasota and visit our Sarasota club, which we've been to many times, but it keeps changing. So if you were in the area, you need to go by. It's on B Ridge, I think 2738 B Ridge. And it is amazing down there. They just got these huge, incredible screens. Like there's 4 of them, and they're whiteboards, but they also can do video. And so Ben did a show on Monday from there, and it was very cool. Jay got to be up front. If anyone listening missed Monday's show, that was an excellent show Monday morning. But I want to shout out to Crypto Sherpa. We love him so much, Todd.
Yeah, the guys down there, Sherpa, the whole gang, Nathan, of course, you know, Ben and everybody else, the gang, the whole gang down there, Gloria, Nathan, everybody does such a great job, works very hard, and just producing left and right and building this ecosystem that we're in here for the Bitcoin Ben Crypto Clubs.
Yeah. Zoltan was in there with the sunglasses that say bitcoinben.io, and it was just great. Randy was down there, Jody. It's just a really great group. All of that to say is there's so much changing in this industry, and Todd and I are here in this industry when we discovered what Bitcoin was, and we've been working in tandem with these amazing people to build businesses in this space. So we're sitting here in Nashville at the Bitcoin Ben Crypto Club Nashville, and in our podcast room. So, but we started the evening a little interesting. Where did we go tonight, Todd?
Well, we after we shut things down here at the club, Janet and I went to Stretch Zone, and I found out at 53 years old, I have the body of an 80-year-old as far as needing to be more limber. He told me I was really off balance, really tight. And I said, you are absolutely correct. And he broke me, but he broke me good.
So we did a booth at our Chamber of Commerce, Williamson Inc. We had a booth a week and a half ago. And this is how we got into the stretch thing, is right across from us. They had the Stretch Zone booth. And we work all the time. I'm real estate. I'm doing marketing for the clubs and our businesses at bitcoinben.io. And there's a lot of stress. And so they said, why don't you come in for a free session, which is how they get you there. And it was so interesting. And they were saying these people, the golfers that come in, they'll improve their game by like 30 points.
Oh yeah. They improve their distance and stuff. And that's because they're more flexible, more limber, because a golf swing is not meant a typical body mechanic for a regular everyday person. It's not. You're not meant to twist your body like that. And that's why there's so many injuries. That's why you have people messing up hips, backs, everything else. But if you can strengthen your core and do stretching, it helps a lot. And I can attest to that, because I just walk like a Frankenstein, literally, when you see me, and I can't even bend over sometimes because it just hurts, and you hear stuff crack, and it's like snap, crackle, pop. I feel like, Rice Krispies and stuff. So it's just really funny, but no, good experience. Would recommend it to anybody who has any mobility issues. He said he took a couple of 85 and 86-year-old couple who came in with walkers and stuff. And after 6 months, I think he had them not using those anymore. And they come in every day. They love him. And, it tells you a lot. So, your health is your wealth. It's not necessarily monetary, but you really have to take care of your health. And that's something Janet and I, towards the end of this year and into the next year, I think we're going to try to work on.
Yeah. What's interesting is we're there with this gentleman named Josh at Stretch Zone in Franklin.
Easy for you to say.
He doesn't have Bitcoin. So we were telling him about Bitcoin. That's the thing. So we're still so early. I mean, it's down a little bit. It's 112,000. So go buy some, but he doesn't have any. And so we're sitting there explaining it. So I think eventually, we'll have him as a customer and you're over there as a customer. And we're going to check in with you in 3 months, Mr. Todd Gatewood. And we're going to see if you've been going to your sessions and seeing if you are in a lot better shape after that. So today's been an interesting day. We started the day early. Todd, what did you do this morning that kicked off the day?
What did I do this morning? Let me think about this. Help me.
I'll tell you. He found a place in West Palm Beach. So we have 5 open clubs. And 6 will open soon, but number 7 is going to be West Palm Beach. It's a 1.5 miles from Mar-a-Lago, and we are crossing fingers. We're hoping it works out. But the neatest thing is commercial real estate moves like molasses. And literally, I called the guy or sent a message. He got back with me within hours, and I got Ben in this location very quickly today, and we're so excited. So say a prayer. Hopefully it'll work out. I'm watching my email. I've been watching it all day. But what we're so excited about is this location. We're just going to keep it there because I don't want to say too much until we have it.
Don't count your chickens for the eggs hatch, for sure, right? Always.
Yeah. So one of the things we wanted to talk about tonight is it's media, because I don't know, we've got the chat open. So if you have your favorite neat media sources you like or some that you hate, put it in the chat, because I was sitting here trying to get ready for the podcast, and I've been so busy between real estate and marketing. I haven't had the time I normally have to just study the news. And a lot of my news I've been getting from Twitter for the last few months, and because I'll go to news sources and it's slanted because the first sentence is negative, always about Trump. And the way they write it, it's negative. And I pulled up right before we started again today, and I was like, okay, what's Trump in the news today? And it's negative, heavy-handed this or push that, or it's just all very negative. So this is one thing Todd and I want to talk about today. So Todd, when you are looking for news, you love a lot of podcasts, you're on Twitter. Yeah. Tell us what news sources you enjoy listening to and why.
Well, mostly what I listen to is I listen to a bunch of basically Bitcoin, I don't say Bitcoin podcasts. Ben, of course, always. Ivan on tech. I don't necessarily listen to the news. I probably should do a better job of it, but it's all the same stuff. It's regurgitated. And for me, it's just not, I think for me, mentally, it puts me in a bad headspace, which I think that's part of the reason they do it, is to put us all in a negative headspace. I really look towards being more in the positive lane when possible. And that's why, for me, I just try to educate myself on stuff in our space, Bitcoin and ecosystem. And as far as that goes, because in the end, it doesn't matter what these politicians say or that these evil people say. It's really, how can you affect your area, your town, your city, for the better, your families and stuff, because you affect change. Politicians don't affect anything except your pocketbook. And that's the truth.
What is it, bad stories sell, sensationalized things, negativity that sells. So that's what you see, and it makes people anxious. I'm so excited. Crypto Sherpa's in the house. He is in our chat, and he was in that video. So if you missed it at the beginning, go back and rewatch, because it's so cute. And Baxter is in there with you. He says he likes Cointelegraph. So when you are looking for news, I'm looking for politics, I want to know what's going on with the country, and then I want to know what's going on with Bitcoin. I want to know, and then also human interest stories. But the nice, happy stories, they don't sell papers. So that's why you don't see that stuff. You see stuff that gets you upset. But if you're looking for news in the crypto space, Crypto Sherpa has Cointelegraph here. Go there. But Crypto Sherpa also has a show. I think it's Monday through Friday at 1 Central, 12 Eastern. And he kind of recaps what's going on every day. And so that's a great place to get news source. He also teaches some of our classes. So we have live classes twice a week. And Crypto Sherpa, he taught today. I was in the middle of dealing with this lease, actually, but you got to be in the class today, Todd.
He did a great job as usual. Thanks, Sherp. You are always a stand-in when we don't have anybody, and we appreciate you for everything you do, man. And you get a chance, and you guys are in Sarasota, hop in and say hi to him. He's just a wonderful person, and I think you would enjoy a conversation with him.
Yeah. I mean, when you look at, if you join the clubs, go to bitcoinbend.io and you can join any of our clubs. Obviously, we're partial to Nashville, but we love all of our clubs, and just pick one, the one you're closest to, whatever. Because if you're a member at one club, you're a member at all. And our classes are live on Zoom twice a week. You can watch the recording later. You can join it live. You can join it in person at one of our clubs. But back to news, because things are changing rapidly. And when I'm so buried in work for a week and I've missed, and I'm like, what did I miss? And I'm watching the Bitcoin price go up and down, and there are different reasons for that. We know it's volatile. If you have it, just hold it. Don't get nervous if it goes down, just buy more, as we say. But so you mentioned it, Todd, Ben's podcast. You've watched that how long?
Gosh, it's going on 4 years now, I think. And there's been people that have been there longer than me and everything. So it's been a fun ride with Ben and what he's built. These programs he builds through our clubs and everything is amazing. Having Dr. J. Bose with us, Nathan, just the quality Sherpa, the quality team we have down in Sarasota, and all our clubs for that matter. We've got some quality people. You get a chance, guys. You should go see each and every one of them, because we're just building something special in this space, and there's so much more to come, and I cannot wait as the year progresses and we move into 2026.
Yeah. One of the things, Ben always educates us on history, and you don't think about, when you're learning about Bitcoin, you really need to know your history, but you do. We talk about the Bitcoin standard, the book, the fiat standard, and the creature from Jekyll Island. But there's history that we haven't been taught, that's been left out of the history books. And if you've been paying attention to the news, and one place to go for a news source is the White House, thewhitehouse.com.
.gov, yeah.
.gov. They have the executive orders, they have news. And so I was looking at that today, thinking about this podcast. And as you've seen in the news, he has taken over the Smithsonian, and they are going through, and they're pulling all the woke stuff out of it, which they need to, because the woke stuff changed history. And it needs to be accurate history. And he's been criticized for it. But you think about, they have the schools, and they take over the Smithsonian, and they just rewrite things, and they make things sound just totally different. So it's refreshing to know we have someone looking out for our history.
Well, speaking of woke stuff, have you seen the deal with Cracker Barrel, which is about 30 miles down the road from us?
No.
They have a woke CEO now, I think, and she has changed it and doing the, LGBTQ stuff, and basically changed the signage and stuff. You used to have the guy who's at the Cracker Barrel, the old man in the rocker and everything. She's totally changed it and basically has Cracker Barrel and just redesigned the whole thing. So Cracker Barrel has gone woke, and I'm like, I never thought I would see the day. That's just right up the road from us. It's roughly 30 miles. It's east of town in Lebanon is where it started.
Did she forget her demographic? That's what I want to know, because you go changing all of that.
She's probably a transplant from New York or California. Sorry, Sherp. Love you, man. You're cool. You're from California, but I love you, man. You're good.
Hey, he's in Florida now.
Yeah, he is.
And sometimes he's in Nashville.
Yeah.
No, I mean, seriously. Okay. Have you seen, they'll put the memes up at McDonald's, and one is the McDonald's we grew up with in the 80s. And It was colorful and fun, and we had Happy Meals, and it was great. And they made their fries.
And you had little Smurfs, because I know you love Smurfs. So you had little Smurfs that came in the Happy Meals and all that jazz. Yeah. So, yeah.
Today they're gray. It's like prison, right? It's this box. It's gray. It's not happy. Like kids used to go and be happy. Well, you think about Cracker Barrel, it puts people at ease. Not everybody wants to look like the modern building. So much of our country, they're just down on people, and they're comfortable at Cracker Barrel. It reminds them of maybe their mom's home or their home even. And it's such a niche. It's so different from anything. When you go changing it, you ruin that branding. So that is amazing to me. They did that.
Yeah, they've been blasting it on Twitter all day and everything. So she might not be too long in the tooth with a job. And, personally, that would be okay, because you do stuff like that. You don't change an institution like that just because you have some kind of identity politics. It's just not cool.
Yeah.
Not here anyway.
Well, we won't go if it's woke.
No, I won't.
I just don't like that stuff. So we've talked about White House. So if you're looking for news, the White House shows you executive orders, and it has news stories. Now, if it were not Trump in the White House and it were Biden, I probably wouldn't be going. because I wouldn't believe it, right? And so we're so polarized in this country. I'm sitting here saying, go visit the White House. But if you have someone listening who doesn't like Trump, well, that shut them down. So,
Yeah.
That's one place to look for a news source. A long time ago, before it sold out, I used to go to the Drudge Report.
Oh, I visited it daily.
Yeah.
Daily, for sure. Yeah. I mean, Drudge Report used to be good. And then Matt Drudge sold it and moved out to who knows where, Timbuktu. He's you don't see that dude anywhere. I think he went to the woods and got lost, literally.
That was a sad day because I was on Drudge multiple times a day. It was the only place you could really figure out what was really going on because, as we know, CNN, ABC, NBC, CBS, all of that mainstream is propaganda, and they funnel the same story. But Drudge, you would see stuff you would see nowhere else, and it was refreshing. But you could tell once it's sold, all of a sudden trickled. Yeah.
Trickle down communism. It never fails. They wean you in and get you thinking. Well, they throw a few bad stories in there, and the next thing you know, it's a flood of communistic propaganda.
Well, I go there now just to see what they're saying. A lot of times I'll go to these liberal sites just to see what's going on and see what they're saying and like how many negative things. Was it like all the stories on Trump are like 97% negative in the mainstream news? Is that not crazy?
That's why I don't watch news.
So
I don't know how valuable I'm going to be for this podcast because of that.
No. The whole point, the whole point is it's different. We get our news from a different source now.
Yeah.
We don't trust TV.
No.
Oh gosh, it bounced off. What hell? Everybody here? Okay. We don't trust the TV now. We don't trust the mainstream media. And President Trump started outing the mainstream media when he started saying fake news. When I first heard it, I was like, fake news. And then you sinks in, you realize it's really fake news. Yeah. And so here we are. We're on a podcast. You and I don't have a journalism degree.
Oh, good grief.
We haven't gone and researched everything. We're real people trying to find answers. And so where do we look as everyday people? We do listen to Ben and Dr. J, and we listen to Sherpa, but we are going to X a lot. It's not censored. The whole point of finding out what's going on is a non-censored website. So I was looking at websites. So Todd, I'm going to name some here, and you may or may not know some of these. I researched today. I just Googled, every night and every now, and I'm on Firefox usually, but I was looking for prompt for conservative news sources, and this is the list it gave me. I want to see what your thoughts are when I read. So I'm going to flip back to you as I read these. Okay. Fox News.
They lost me in 2020.
Why?
Well, when they called the election, Brett Baer, and I will never trust that dude again. They called it before they even had the votes counted. I'm like, this is such a rigged job. I turned it off and just went to bed because I was like, it's over. Yeah. It was just a mess. I never going back to them guys ever.
So I was the same way when they called Arizona for not for President Trump, when they did not have all the votes in. I realized it was not a good news station, and we flipped over to Newsmax that night, I think.
Yeah, we did, and we just we've bounced here and there and stuff. I'll be honest, we've cut our cable. So we have literally cut our cable, and I think the only thing we do is like Netflix and Amazon Prime, and that's pretty. And YouTube. I watch a lot of YouTube stuff too. So, but as far as mainstream news, I look at X and stuff. I should probably do a better job in research, but it bores me, and I'll tell you what bores me, because it doesn't help pad my pocketbook. It really doesn't. If you're not educating yourself and you're just watching news and all that stuff, you're not really benefiting you or your family. And that's for me. I've decided to take my time and educate myself every day in the space that we're in, and grow our clubs and everything, and not waste time on useless stuff that's really not going to benefit me. Honestly, I don't know. So
I love that. And you put yourself down just a little bit. I don't think you're giving yourself enough credit. Because you said I should be watching more news, but you are always listening. I see you're always on your podcast. You're always trying to soak in information, and I'll ask questions. You know all about it, and I haven't even looked at it. And it's because you're listening. And that's the thing, is what you put in is what comes out. And you think about what are you absorbing every day, and what is your source? But Todd, I know there's some podcasts you like to listen to. Are there any that come to mind?
Well, like we were saying before, Ben, of course, always. Ivan on tech. I start out with Ivan on tech. I actually was able to go to a live show of his today because he's usually on at 3:00 in the morning. So that's why that's my first one every day because he's the first one on. Just different people. If something catches me on like a Twitter space, or if I see something on YouTube, I'll hop on it. But I don't know that I'm really following a lot of influencers. When I first got into this space, I was listening to like Robert Breedlove, Natalie Brunell, people like that. But it got to the point, and I love them to death. They're good. Don't take this wrong when I say this, but it's the same old stuff every single day, and I just get bored with it. And when you've absorbed enough information that you feel like is useful, and they keep having the same guests and things like that. And like I said, it's nothing against them. They've got their thing and they're very successful, but it gets to the point where my attention span is very low. And that's why I switch out and just try to keep activated with different things.
Yeah. And it's good to have them for like everybody coming to the space that they don't know anything.
Yes.
But
totally.
You have listened to so much that you're really ready for that next step, more information, where they're doing a lot of just still really helping people. So we also, Simply Bitcoin is a podcast that they have a lot of content, a couple hours a day.
Yep.
They had Ben and Jay on recently, which was really great.
We do sponsor that show as well.
And we do sponsor that show. Our company does. Yes. So that's great. Okay. Crypto Fitz. Tell us about Crypto Fitz.
Jimmy Fitz, man. I love this guy. He is such an old school dude, but he's like a hip dude. I mean, Jimmy's probably in his early 60s, but he's like so hip, knowledgeable. You can tell he's been around the block 10 times and around the world that long. And he's just knowledgeable. We have a show here on Super Talk 99.7. And it's the Crypto Fit show. And of course we sponsor that, the Bitcoin Ben Crypto Club here in Brentwood. We could sponsor his show as well. And just a wealth of knowledge, makes it fun. Highly recommend him. I think he's in Sarasota as well. I'm pretty sure. Matter of fact.
Yeah. So Jimmy.
WENG.
Yeah. WENG. Jimmy Crypto Fits. And if you go to bitcoinben.io, the last page has links to some of our shows with Crypto Fits. He's interviewed Ben. He's interviewed us. He's got that great radio voice.
Oh, yeah.
He made a jingle for the Nashville club. You probably could sing it right now if I asked you to.
Yeah, here we go. It's the Bitcoin Ben Crypto Club Nashville. Cool Springs. Okay, that's it, guys.
Nice.
Catch me at Zany's, guys.
Comedy club here.
Comedy club, yeah, no doubt.
So yeah, go to cryptofits.com or go to bitcoinben.io. He's got great. So he has a lot of content. He was present during Bitcoin 2025. And he does a show on NBC Palm Springs every Tuesday night. And he interviewed Dr. J. Bose, and he interviewed me for the women's brunch. And they just did some great content from the conference. I really, really appreciate that. So it's crypto and then Fitz, FITZ, if anybody's wanted to look that up. There's also Consensus Protocol. And this has Matty Ice on the show.
Yep.
And
Matty's a cool dude. He is such a wealth of knowledge, a young man who's got his head screwed on straight, got a cute kid whom he met at Bitcoin Day last year. Super cool kid. I mean, he's like just, fun people and everything. And he's also into mining, Bitcoin mining and stuff as well. So him and John Drew and the gang down there do a great job.
Yeah. And they've had Ben on the show also, which is a lot of fun. And speaking of mining, guys, if you have Bitcoin and you want to grow it even more than Bitcoin's already going to grow, you need to join a mining pool. Join our club, join the mine. I'm sorry that this monitor keeps flipping off. I think we have a connection issue here, but we're here. But we have mining pools at the clubs. And so our first mining pool started getting their funds just last week. And they'll get them monthly. So they're already making money. They actually launched those miners within a month. So you talked to a gentleman today that's interested in the second mining pool just closed, and the third one's about to form. So if you're looking for a way to grow your Bitcoin, this is exciting. So join the club and we can tell you more about that. All right, let's go back to, I'm going to go back to the top of this list. So I started with doing that search of conservative news outlets. So another one that came up was Breitbart. What do you think about that, Todd?
I tell you what, I miss Andrew Breitbart. That man was on fire for truth. And unfortunately, his life ended way too soon. I think he was in his mid-40s when he passed away. So, I'll be honest with you, I haven't looked at it in such a long time. When it's like Rush Limbaugh, you lose Rush Limbaugh, people like that, it's hard to go back, even with new people who might be good, but it's just not the same. For me, it's just, when we lost Rush, I was like, I don't like to use the word devastated, but just sad. Because I relied on him every single day when I was at work. I'd have my little earbud in, listen to Rush while I was working. When I was working my, 6 to 4:30 job or whatever it was I was doing, and he kind of got me through the day, and I just enjoyed listening to him just to enhance my education through him.
I love that. Yeah, we all miss him. And it was kind of interesting. Not long after that, you found Ben.
Oh,
you started listening to Bitcoin Ben every day.
Yeah.
And he talks about the current news. National Review.
Honestly, a lot of those have kind of secretly went woke. And I think one of the guys is like super woke now. And I can't think of the dude's name. And that's how much I pay attention to that. I don't trust any of them anymore because I think they feed you a line of bull and just aren't intellectually honest.
Yeah. If anyone in the chat has any thoughts on these, have at it, put something in the chat. I'm going to read these others pretty quickly that came up when I looked for conservative news sources because I don't ever go to them. So I was kind of like, what is that? So you have, we talked about National Review, the American Spectator, the Daily Wire. I know about the Daily Wire, the Daily Caller, American Thinker, the Heritage Foundation. And then something came up, which I haven't looked up, called allsides.com. Anyone that tells me they're going to give you all sides, I'm like, I just still don't believe it. I think you have to do your own research, don't you?
Yeah, and I think one to look at would be Right Side News, and I think one of the Trump daughter-in-laws runs that, and I cannot think which one it is. I think it's Eric's wife, and I cannot remember her name, but I think she's the one that's kind of started that with the Trump organization. So it's called, I think it's Right Side News, if I'm not mistaken, but I cannot remember.
I haven't been there.
Yeah, I haven't either.
Right
but I've heard
News.
of it. Yeah, I think it's Right Side News. Yeah.
Okay, I love that. Okay, I'm going to read this list, and then if you jump in on something you want to say. Washington Post.
The Compost. Rush used to call it Washington Compost, and there's a reason because it's compost.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, the New York Times.
What a rag.
Bloomberg TV.
That's even worse.
I will say they do have stuff on Bitcoin sometimes.
Well,
a little bit.
Well, they have to get viewership somehow, so you're going to have to put something that people want to watch.
People want a way out from where they are.
The slave system, yeah.
AP.
Here's the deal. All the ones you've already mentioned, all the news is probably funneled from AP to them. So, I mean, it's okay. So this is a centralized system. So we were kind of talking about this on the class today because Sherpa had some really good graphs and everything. And one of the things they were talking about was like the banking system in Bitcoin. Well, the banking system, you've got like a globe, let's put it like an open globe. You've got like the center core, and then you've got everything funneling into that. That's centralized system. You got the Bitcoin, it's all, hashed out and everything else. But I mean, that's the thing. When you look at that, that's what the newspapers are. That's a centralized system when it's like you've got the center core and then you've got all these lines coming in just straight into it, funneling in. So that's what the newspaper, and that's why they're dying. That's why media is dying.
Yeah. People want truth and they can read through that. Yeah. Because everything comes out of AP and Reuters. And then you've got, of course, CNN.
Communist News Network.
Oh, you just don't disappoint tonight.
No,
this is awesome.
I'm on this. See, you feed me and I'm good. And speaking of which, I meant to talk about this earlier. You never know. This is how small a town, Nashville, Brentwood, the whole area. It's 20-mile radius. It's all Nashville. We call it Nashville proper, whatever. I actually ran into Daryl Waltrip when I was picking up for anybody that's a NASCAR fan, it's ironic. You can run into anybody anytime in this city. And NASCAR legend Daryl Waltrip, ran into him. So, yeah. Just random.
Hey, he has a Honda dealer in Franklin. So
I bought my car from him.
Yeah, we might have done some business
Daryl.
there. That's really fun. Yeah. That's really fun. Gosh, this thing keeps popping off. I'm so sorry. Okay, USA Today.
Whatever.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So then I went, okay, what are the liberal news sources? That's what I went for because we are conservative. What are the liberal news sources? Here's the list it gave me on just the AI search, right? The New York Times, the Washington Post, the Boston Globe,
Yeah.
Los Angeles Times, magazines, The Nation, Mother Jones, The American Prospect. I don't read magazines. The New Republic, The Progressive, online, Huffington Post, The Guardian, MSNBC, NPR, PBS.
Yeah, and speaking of the last two, that's taxpayer funded. That's money that you're going out and working hard for every day and supporting that crap. Sorry, it is crap. I mean, if I'm being a taxpayer, I don't know any taxpayer that wants to support stuff that's anti-American and anti-worker or people. And those, defund it. Hey, if you're that good, fund yourself. I mean, it's that simple, maybe, right?
That's a really good point. That's a really good point. Okay. Let's jump to something fun. So we're on Twitter. We're on X all the time. Follow Ben Simchi, follow Bitcoin Ben, follow our clubs on X. We there's a lot going on there. It's really fun. So some of the accounts that we follow on X, I'm going to say one and then I'll turn it over to you. Bitcoin Magazine. We partner with them for the conferences and I love their posts. They do a lot of nice graphs.
Great guys. They're based here in Nashville. So that's like a hometown friendship right there. The guys do a great job. They support us and appreciate everything they do as far as when we're getting prepared for the conference. Because let me tell you, these guys run all the time. I think they have 3 or 4 conferences a year, all parts of the world. I know they go to Europe. I know they go to Asia. Of course, they do the one here. So it's a 24/7 job for them. They're never done. And of course, when you're having to juggle all the different balls that they have to, and try to get people, get money and all that stuff. I don't know how they do it, to be honest with you. It's a young man's game. And if you look at their team, they're all young and there's a reason, if Janet and I were trying to do that, we would probably be alcoholics at this point, to be honest with you.
Oh, they have such a great team. And I said I don't read magazines. I do read Bitcoin Magazine.
Well, that's a good one to read, actually.
I do. And we get it here at the club, and it's a great magazine. Another Twitter account is, we talked about a minute ago, Simply Bitcoin, and Nico, who is the host of that podcast.
Yeah, him and Opti, his partner, those guys do a great job. They're always entertaining, fun, full of energy. It's like if I could feed off some of that, I'd take a 50-gallon drum of it. But they do a great job educating. They're self-made young men, and they're out there killing it for the Bitcoin space and freedom in general.
Yeah. Okay. There are 2 that I follow that I don't think you follow at all, but I'm on there all the time. One is Strip Mall Guy, because I'm a residential realtor, but we're constantly looking at commercial real estate with the clubs. But Strip Mall Guy has so many things that just resonate. So you might want to take a follow. So that's a really interesting one. And another is Cody Sanchez, Codie.
She's cool.
She constantly gives these amazing advice for companies, for structuring businesses, for buying successful businesses. It's just a really great business account to follow.
Well, she's also a good conscience for you, because when she's the type of person that tells it like it is, basically tells you not to whine about stuff and get on with it. I mean, I appreciate that in a young person. I think we've got a good future as far as our youth goes. I see a lot of conscientious younger folks out there that are really trying to do good and trying to help one another. And it's just, it's enlightening. And, it's like, I don't ever want to be the old guy who says, get off my grass or anything like that. I want to be supportive of these young people. We've got young kids that are in their 20s and stuff. I say young, that's still young, because I'm not going to say how old we are, but
you just did earlier.
Did I really? No, I'm sorry. My bad.
I think you might have given away your age a few minutes ago.
I might have. It's getting late. It's almost bedtime for the old man here. So what can I say?
Okay. So when I was doing this, I started thinking there might be some accounts I need to be following that I'm not, because I could not find the information I wanted, because there was an amazing press conference this week and the media just doesn't put it out there. But I saw these clips of Caroline Levitt.
Yeah.
Who's amazing, our White House press secretary.
Correct.
And oh my word. So I started following her yesterday. I was like, why am I not following her? Because man, she just tells it like it is. She is so sharp.
Young. She's another young person that's she's got her head on screwed on straight big time.
Yeah. She is so sharp. And I actually started following HUD and DHS because there's so many changes going on. Because I read this week somewhere, probably on Twitter or on X, that Section 8 is going to start being limited to maybe 2 years. They're going to start phasing out a lot of Section 8. Have you seen anything about that, Section 8 housing?
I know you mentioned something about that. I hadn't, but I'll be honest with you, it's not a bad thing because that needs to be temporary because a lot of the crime happens in Section 8 housing, no fault of their own. But when you've got the government putting these people in a situation and not helping them to grow as human beings, that's a problem. I respect people enough to say, give them a hand up, but not a handout. You can give them a handout for half a second, but it doesn't need to go past 1 year, honestly, because these people, I understand people need help. I'm not insensitive to that, but we need to help people, give them a life skill and help them to get out of that system where they can be a boon for society as a whole, because, you have to believe in people. Even when you think there's not anything worth believing in, there always is. People inherently want to be good. I don't know many people out there who want to say, I want to be evil, I want to be bad, I want to do this, I want to do that. I see people who really want to improve their life and do something better for society as a whole and help their families. So, there's no reason to keep people in slavery like that, because that's basically what that is. You're keeping them in slavery, dangling a carrot in front of them saying, hey, we'll supply your housing. All you have to do is sit at home. Well, that's not teaching them a life skill. That's not good.
The other thing this will do is maybe help break generational dependence on Section 8 housing, because you have healthy, capable people that could go work. Work is satisfying. Work gives you self-worth. And so they get none of that. And then you see a lot of foot traffic, you see a lot of theft, you see a lot of crime. Go to work. They don't have time to go plan a crime because they are over there working for their paycheck. But we want that paycheck to count, which is why we're here. Because if you put it in the bank, it's going to lose value. What has it lost? 10 or 15%. Your dollars in the bank this year have already lost like 10 or 15%. Okay, I'm laughing. When I'm sitting here talking with my hands. And what did Jimmy Fitz say the other day? I think if we tied Janet's hands, she couldn't talk.
Yeah, exactly. And she's very demonstrative when it comes to her hands, which makes her fun. I mean, look, I don't care if you're talking about preachers or anybody else. Anybody that's a good orator uses their hands. And, it's like if you're holding your hands down here or to the side, it's like you're stiff. But if you're like this and, it's really just fun, actually.
Oh, well, I'm expressive. Hey, we got some fun stuff happening in the chat.
Awesome.
Pam Powers. Oh, thank you. She's enjoying the show.
Thanks,
and then
Pam.
Freedom Guy. Most of our youth are being brainwashed and propagandized by the woke and the controllers. It's serious and getting, where's the rest of that? And getting worse. He's right.
Yeah.
And getting dumbed down too, which is correct. These are the changes I love seeing. When I was going on, I was like, wow, this is really great. We're starting to see changes. And so again, looking for where do you find out what's happening, because the media will not report it. Go to the source. Follow HUD on Twitter. Follow it on DHS. Follow DHS on Twitter. You know what they did this week? Oh,
hands up. What's up?
It was brilliant. They're painting the wall black.
Oh, yeah.
They're painting the wall black, so it's too hot to climb. Have you heard that?
I heard it, I saw it, and I started laughing because I was like, yeah, I mean, you think about that. You've got that whole southern border is in the desert. So, it gets up to about 120 degrees each day. Yeah, that's going to light some hands up. We're going to have some 3rd-degree burns, but hey, you play the game, you're going to get burned. So whatever,
You can't write this stuff like every day. So I took my girls down to the beach this summer, and we went to the Gulf of America. And we bought Gulf of America magnets. Like, who would have thought we would have changed the name of the Gulf of Mexico to Gulf of America? Like, they're just funny. There are funny things happening this year. There are serious things happening this year. Really positive changes. And one of the changes that happened in the last week was that President Trump executive order said that you can have digital currency in your 401k. So you can do Bitcoin ETFs and Ethereum ETFs in your 401k.
And that being said, that's to get a lot of people onboarded who are retirees and stuff like that. And I can appreciate that, but I can also caution you that it's paper, and they can do it with gold, silver, and they've done that in the past. It really has no intrinsic value unless you're custodying and holding your own Bitcoin or cryptocurrencies and stuff like that. And that's one of the reasons we're here at the clubs. All of our clubs are here to educate people on how to self-custody. And, unfortunately here lately, what we've been getting mostly is people coming in who have been scammed because they're listening to stuff online and not going straight to a source like the Bitcoin Bend crypto clubs to get actual good advice and protect them and help them to self-custody their Bitcoin or cryptos. So that's the thing. That's why we're here. That's one of the main reasons we're here, not only to offer programs, but also to offer a great service, how to self-custody and protect yourself from these scams out there. Because as we move forward, you're going to have more and more people, as the price of Bitcoin and the cryptos start to shoot up more and more, every single day. And we'll have dips here and there. But, I think it's getting to the point where we're not going to have the kind of dips we had in the past. You're going to have more scammers out there. And as we go farther and deeper into this space, with AI and everything else, it's going to get tougher and tougher to be able to disseminate what's true and what's not true anymore. So that's why we're here. You can get in front of somebody. We've got an event coming next week on the 28th, and we're going to do a Bitcoin 101 with Steve Blanco, Janet and I, and we're going to have barbecue and everything else. So we're going to have people here that are going to be face-to-face, talking to one another, enjoying our space, and being our guest.
Yeah. Go to the Meetup app and follow us, the Bitcoin Bend Crypto Club on the Meetup app. Actually, I think I've renamed it bitcoinbend.io. Go to the Meetup app and look for us. But it's 4 to 6 on Thursday, the 28th. And if you want to know what it is, don't know what Bitcoin is, want to come meet other Bitcoiners network, bring your neighbor, just come here. We're at 1619 Galleria Boulevard. We're in Cool Springs near Best Buy. So that's next week. That's going to be I think that's going to be interesting and fun. Oh, yes. And Freedom Guy. Yes. Scams too. One of the things that I love that is nice about the whole 401k, like you said, it gets their feet wet and it just gets them that exposure. It helps Bitcoin overall. Anytime someone buys Bitcoin, it raises. What is it? Every time Bitcoin goes up $1, the market cap goes up 21 million, right? Or 19, it's almost there. It's interesting.
Well, Michael Saylor's doing his part every single Monday. He's buying. And, everybody's like, why is it not going up? I said, well, it's still manipulated. I mean, let's be real here. If they can manipulate markets, that unfortunately they can manipulate Bitcoin. So what's happened is you've got these big whales out there who are trying to short Bitcoin, and they're selling astronomical amounts of it. So unfortunately, there's some guys out there like that have a lot of money invested where they're going to try to tank the market so they can get that price down and buy it at a cheaper price. So a lot of that's going on. And until we get to that point, that inflection point where there's less Bitcoin in the market and all the miners are holding on to their Bitcoin, you're going to have fluctuations. But I mean, we hit 124.5 this week, and now it's like 112. So I mean, it's down 12,000 in the grand scheme of things. That's nothing, because it was down like 40, 50, 60,000 last year. So
yeah, that's amazing. Well, we also heard this week that the CEO of BlackRock, Larry Fink, is now over the WEF, the World Economic Forum, the WEF.
Last name rhymes with what he is. He's a Fink.
Yes. And between what they own in Bitcoin and what Michael Saylor owns, it's almost 7% of the Bitcoin supply, I believe. And so they can, separately, or they can make changes in the market. They can do things that will affect it a little bit, but it's going to come back. So if you buy some and it goes down, just breathe, hold on to it. It'll go back up. I mean, I saw so many different projections this week, but I saw one that said within less than 10 years, it'll be worth more than 10 million a coin.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm okay if it's more than $1 million a coin in less than 10 years, like $500,000 a coin. I mean, it's still going up because the dollar is going down. There's just such a difference in having that. The best appreciating asset in all of history is Bitcoin.
Yeah, half a coin is $5 million. I mean, good grief, that's insane. I mean, who wouldn't love that? I mean, eBay's got that, even half of one. Their kids are going to be very happy with them, honestly. So, I mean, that's cool. Yeah.
We have in the chat, Freedom Guy says they're holding the price down so all the rich normies can get in. Yes,
yeah,
I think you're right.
Totally, man.
And we should be at 300K by now. Again, I totally agree with you. And Greg's on here. His Bitcoin Bull. He said, Mrs. Bull will help you stretch. She's a yoga instructor. Christian, not Hindu. That's awesome.
Hey, Greg, when we come up for your grand opening, man, I want to do some yoga, man.
That's, oh my gosh.
That's a bad sight.
And then Freedom Guy says they'll let it rip eventually. He's right.
Yeah.
Once it goes,
No
it's going to
choice.
go. And so the gentleman we were talking to tonight at the Stretch Zone, he was like, well, I had a buddy get in when it was like $100 a coin or something like that.
I said you never saw him again, did you?
He was like on his yacht.
Yeah, right.
And I said, but look, this is still the time to get in.
Yeah.
Get in now. It's still amazing. People don't realize. And he didn't realize you could buy $5 of Bitcoin or $10. So if you're listening, you think you have to buy a whole one for 112,000 or whatever it was when we started this show tonight. You don't. You can go on Cash App, Venmo, PayPal.
Strike.
$5. We love the Fold card.
Yeah, Fold card.
And when our credit union is here and going, the Private Key Capital Credit Union, we'll have our app, we'll have checking and savings accounts, we'll have all of that. You'll be able to have your Bitcoin in that account and watch it earn interest in Bitcoin. It's going to be amazing. So we had a friend come in the club today, Teresa.
Yep.
And we've known her a long time. And she is a Nashville singer-songwriter here. And what was so interesting is we were having a discussion of how to grow your Bitcoin, because you're just, how much more can we get? And when you think about your daily activities, what are you wasting money on? Don't do it that day. Just like go on your app, go buy some Bitcoin. Don't go buy that. Do you really need it? What you're going to go get? Because this is the season of stacking and hodling. Just hold your Bitcoin. So we can't encourage you enough. So we were talking to her about the Fold card, ways to grow your Bitcoin and get more of it. So that was really sweet today.
Yeah, that Fold card. Speaking of that Fold card, the biggest benefit of that. So if you've got a mortgage or if you've got a credit card bill, if you've got gas, groceries, you've got all that stuff. I know you do. Get that Fold card and actually start spending money and earning money at the same time, and actually earning money, which is eventually going to outpace what you're spending. And it's going to get to that point where it does that. So if you can stack sats while you're spending, that's a win-win situation, because you're going to look back one day and say, man, I've got that much money just by spending. Yeah. I mean, it is a true rewards card. Now, I understand the concept of rewards cards. We've benefited off them and everything like that. But, that one, if you really want to get into the space and you want to do it the easy way, that's the easiest way to stack sats. Get that Fold card.
And at the end of this video, you'll see a link to sign up for the Fold card, the Fold app. This is so funny. We missed the most important news media outlet for the whole reason we are physically here. And it's not the Bitcoin Ben show. It's the X22 report, where we first heard Bitcoin Ben. Todd, you want to talk about the X22 report?
Yeah, Dave with X22, we met a friend of ours during COVID. He was actually our furniture salesman. And and I've told this story many a time, so forgive me if you've heard this story before, but Janet and I, when we first moved into our house, like any other couple, you try to save money, nickels and dimes here and there, because moves are expensive and everything else, and just the purchase of the house alone. So we went to a place that's no longer in business called Dirt Cheap. And it's like I don't know what the best way to, it's like a junk store hunt, I guess, basically. And you're looking around this thing, and so we found some chairs for our kitchen stuff, and they had to screw them together. You basically had to screw them all together, and they finally got to the point where they broke down on us, and like the screws were falling out, and then, so we said we got to do something. So we went and visited our buddy, and he was mad as a tick. And he said, I'm so sick of this COVID stuff and all these liberals I have to work with. And he was going off, and he said, come on back here, let's talk. So he asked us, said, have you ever heard of X22 report? I said, no, what's that? He said, it's real news. He said, you guys will be blown away by all the stuff you hear from this guy. So we started listening to Dave. And that's when, Dave does his, Saturday reports and everything, spotlights, and started listening. And then, he had Ben on there, and it was like Bitcoin Ben, ex-truck driver from St. Louis, Missouri, is in Bitcoin and this, that, and the other. So, well, that sounds entertaining, and went through the whole 9 yards. The next thing I know, we're in this space. And that's when we had this conversation with Janet before. And I said, hey, would you mind going down there and making sure this is all kosher and stuff? And we did. And next thing you know, 2.5, 3 years later, we own a business thanks to Ben.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So So, Greg, thank you for putting X22 up there. You also wrote "And We Know." I don't know if that's the name of a podcast.
I think I've heard that. I think I've heard that.
I'm going to put it on the screen. I've never heard of it. So, "And We Know." So, thank you for sharing that. And Freedom Guy, yes, he said, look for this up here. Can't believe how many people still think you need to buy a whole Bitcoin. It's crazy.
Yeah.
We need so much education out there. You need to talk to anybody listening. Talk to people when you're out there. Like I always mention somehow Bitcoin and crypto wherever I am. And I kind of test the waters. I'll get a bless her heart look, or I'll get the side eye scam look. Yeah. Or I'll get someone going, I don't know, but I want to know. I'm like, you need to come see us.
Come see us.
So it's a part of like sharing your faith, sharing this is, our faith is our hope, our eternal hope in Christ. Bitcoin for us is financial hope here on earth. I say that a lot, but really it's worth sharing because we know the difference it can make. Imagine your church, the tithes go down over the years sometimes as the economy goes down, but what if they had a Bitcoin strategic reserve? And what if the whole time they're investing part of their tithes and they're not touching it for future church plants, for helping people in their community. So if you have a church, if you're a minister, if you go to, and your church doesn't have Bitcoin and wants to learn more, Todd and I will do calls with them. We'll do a Zoom call. Nathan will, Jay, any of us, we would love to help the churches learn about a strategic reserve and stacking Bitcoin. So just reach out to us.
Reach out and look. We've got these clubs in our communities for a reason. And if you want us to speak to a civic group, church, business, whatever, if you want us to come in there and explain or, join the club and we can have like a group meetup or something and bring your employees in and say, hey, then again, if you're an employer, you might not want to do that because once people find out that they can retire off Bitcoin, they're like, well, there goes my employees. Why would I do that? So, I mean, that's a double-edged sword. I get that. But, if you love your people and, but here's the deal. If you're a business owner, you could do the same thing. You could be out, you could sell your business. So, I mean, then you can stab them in the back and they not have a job. So, I mean, it works that way too.
No.
Not that I would say that, but just joking, of course.
Incentive. If you have employees, incentivize them with Bitcoin.
Yes.
Reward them with Bitcoin. That your bonuses are in Bitcoin. Imagine. I mean, because right now, like when you have a 401k or whatever at work, you can't touch it until you leave. Like you could do a loan against it, but you can't access it. But you have Bitcoin in your wallet and you access that. So I would, as an employer, that would be an amazing incentive. Would be to offer Bitcoin. Okay, Freedom Guy. Yes, he said, I told everyone over the last few years to sell their car and buy a cheaper one. Use the profits to buy Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Yep. What else we got here? Oh yeah, Freedom Guy's also starting to listen to X22, or he started in 2014.
Oh wow, you are an old school guy. That's cool.
Yeah, I didn't know it was been out that long.
We're way behind.
And let's see what we got here. Oh, we got more. Okay, Bitcoin Bull. Number 23 gender wing of the Smithsonian. What? Is there a 23 gender wing of the Smithsonian? Like 23 genders? I'm like, if there are, that needs
It's been a while since I've been to the Smithsonian. I never saw that myself. Thank goodness. I would have left disgusted and mad.
I was 10 when I went to the Smithsonian, and I remember the Hope Diamond, and I remember Dorothy's red
ruby slippers.
Yes, her red ruby slippers.
The Hope Diamond. I was almost afraid to get too close to that thing because it's been like it's so-called jinxed or whatever. I don't know. It was just weird. A lot of stuff going on with that. For me, it was the aerospace part of it because I love planes. I like World War II planes and jets and stuff. So for me, that was what I was always heading towards, was that and all the history. I love history.
Hey, let's go see that if we get it. We're going to open a club in the DC area.
We are.
And so, you know what? Let's go do that because my dad was a Navy pilot in World War II, and I would love to go see. I know we saw those exhibits, but I was so little.
Well, I'll drive. I'll drive. So
drive us out there.
Totally.
Hey, it's safer now because Trump now has been locking down. Because let me tell you, this is also one of the things I was reading. Is that they've had some horrific murders in D.C. Like a Congress, some staffers, a White House administrator, like different people been beat up, killed. All these things were happening. So he is now starting to lock down, and they're starting to check people. And D.C. needs to be safer because even talking about opening the club, I was like, oh, do I want to go to D.C.? Because they locked up all the people from J6, took all their rights away. And that's scary, right? To go somewhere where you don't have any rights and you can't protect yourself. So I'm glad that the president's hopping on board and straightening out the DC area.
Oh, absolutely. Well, the sad part about that whole situation with the J6ers and everything, they put all those people who weren't doing anything wrong. It's the people's house. They weren't tearing up stuff. They put them in prison for 4+ years, and then they let these renegade roughnecks run around destroying the place. So, I mean, it's like, it's just so wrong in so many different ways.
The stories are horrific.
Yeah.
They really are. And those wrongs need to be righted.
Yeah.
And they haven't all been righted yet. And they need to be.
I see lawsuits.
I know
there's lawsuits in the future.
That's like 50 podcasts put together.
Yeah. Oh, no.
But anyone that was, anyway, our thoughts are with those families because again, talking about media and look at me talking about media and
point that finger at me.
I'm pointing that finger.
When she starts wagging that finger, look out. It ain't good.
But media and propaganda, that's what it was. And anyone that was there had a whole different experience. They saw these specific agitators and then all of the video was held. So again, you need to look at your news source. You need to look at multiple sources before you make a decision or have an opinion on something. Bitcoin Bull, we're back to the gender thing real quick. He said more genders than Dr. Pepper has flavors. Oh my gosh. Right.
Which is 23. If I'm not mistaken. Yeah.
So Freedom Guy, let's see. He's been trying to get people into crypto for 8 years. It's difficult. Stupid media and government brainwash them to stay away. Yes,
brother, it sounds to me like you're going to get on your own island pretty soon and get away from the stupid. So congratulations, man. If you've been doing it that long, I hope you're doing quite well.
Yeah.
You're my hero.
And he said about 5% actually listened to him or looked into it. And honestly, I feel like
that's less than us, I think, sometimes.
or more. Like sometimes we tell people and they just look at us, and we've been in this space 3.5 years, and people that we know and love that we've told about, they still don't have any of it.
No.
Do you imagine if they'd bought 3.5 years ago and had sat on it, where they would be? Like, now is the time. The time you hear about it, you need to go ahead and get some. And Freedom Guy started watching Ben in 2017.
Yeah,
oh my gosh,
wow.
That's amazing. That is amazing.
Lifer. Yeah.
Bitcoin Ben. I mean, we would not be in this space. We would not understand this, and we have just immersed ourselves. But trying to find these media sources, where do you get your news? Like at the top of this, we started, and I just so appreciated Crypto Sherpa. He said he liked Cointelegraph. There's Coin Market Cap, there's CoinGecko. There are different places, crypto news. There are different places to get it. And what I would do is go check out a few and try to see if you can corroborate those stories and try to see if you have legitimate, actual, uncensored news sources where you're getting your news. But it is fascinating on X because you'll see one thing forwarded from 5 different people because it's so true. Like we follow Michael Saylor on X, He'll put good information out there. Is there somebody else that you follow on X that you can think of?
Honestly, no.
Yeah.
I don't. It's funny because for me, I'm like a serial scroller. I'll just scroll through, if I was on TikTok, I'd probably, because I know you were on it for 1 week?
3 days. 3 days.
3 days. 3 days. And you
TikTok.
had to get yourself off because like, I'm going to get addicted to this, just scrolling left and right. And I'm kind of the same way with Twitter. I try to watch out and not get too involved, but it's one of those things where it's like, man, why am I wasting my time doing this? Oh, let's see what's going on now. It's just like, it's overload. It literal overload. And you're like, I cannot believe I'm sitting here at 1 o'clock in the morning. What's going on? What's going on? What's going on?
I think the most maddening thing is so I never did after 3 days of TikTok, I lost 3 days of my life. I took it off my phone. I thought I will never sell another house if I keep this app on my phone.
No doubt.
And I haven't put it back since, but guess what they do? They feed it into Instagram and Facebook now. So you start seeing these reels and I do get sucked into it. So trying to train myself, don't watch the reel. It's not adding any value to my life. It's interesting, but it's not adding any value to my life. So while you were saying, well, who am I following on X? I pulled up, here's Cody Sanchez. So this is what I mentioned earlier. She said, America was designed to keep us broke. The worst part, most don't realize it's happening. And she has a 400-year-old script that's programmed to keep people poor, and it's a thread. And so that's the thing a lot of people will do on Twitter is they'll do a thread, but it is interesting. Like I feel like I'm a lifelong learner. I feel like I love to study and research, and we do it through these different apps. I used to do a lot on Telegram. I don't know, about a year and a half, 2 years ago, I got off, but lately people keep saying, are you on Telegram? Are you on Telegram? And I thought, well, maybe I need to go back. But there were so many crazy conspiracy theories on Telegram. I used to follow Whiplash, and there were some others, and they had some wild stuff on there. And, at the end of the day, you got to go, okay, this is interesting and wild. I don't know if this is true or not, but it's not going to help me get from point A to point E and help get my kids through school and help grow this business, right?
Well, the funny part for me is I have people say, are you on LinkedIn? I said, no. I said,
oh, gosh.
I've had multiple people ask me, are you on LinkedIn? I was like, no, I'm not. It's weird because I've heard so many people make fun of LinkedIn and everything. And it's like, it's almost like a tracking. What isn't tracking? Let's be real here. Right? But yeah, I had one for my old job, but I mean, it wasn't anything that I looked at and stuff. And you'd see random people pop up and you're like, oh, I know that person. I know that. It's sort of like Facebook, except for business. So no, I don't have LinkedIn for anybody that wants to know.
Yeah. I'm on LinkedIn, but I'm rarely on LinkedIn. I have a presence, and I've had people ask, but it's not vetted.
No.
You can put whatever you want and people just blow up, and to me, it's just not real. Like we like authentic, right?
That's why we're here at the
I
clubs.
can't tell you that it is. And I mean, I know my stuff on there is correct, but I don't know that everyone else, and you're supposed to, oh, here's a referral. But the best referral is that person to person when they tell you that. But LinkedIn to me is, maybe it's a presence to show legitimacy of a company. But we're in this different space, the whole Bitcoin space. You don't have to be on LinkedIn.
No.
You might have to be on. I'm about to put us on TikTok. Ben's on TikTok, but we probably have to put our clubs on TikTok. And I don't want to
be on
it.
TikTok. Oh, scroll, baby, scroll.
We're gonna be so addicted.
You're gonna be addicted more.
Mm-mm.
It's like information overload porn, basically.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. So Freedom Guy said he forced his mom and sisters to get some Bitcoin in their own possession last year. Good for you. And after working on them 8 years, I hope that they watched it grow, because we had a friend come in the club last week. She joined our club. She's a broker, a realtor friend of mine. And she she had her wallet on the phone, but she didn't have any Bitcoin. So I sent her $10. And before she left, she goes, oh, it's $10.07. I'm like, yep, keep watching it. And she said, you want it back? I'm like, nope. I want you to enjoy, watch it. So if they can get some and watch it, but a lot of people that will gift Bitcoin to family members that don't know what it is, they sell it. So you have to make sure if you're gifting it that they actually know to hold it. And okay, so much stuff. Y'all, thank y'all for being in the chat. It's and any other news sources that y'all like to listen to or follow on X, anything like that. I mean, really just trying to help people figure out, where do you find truth? I mean, okay, the Bible.
Well, of course.
I mean, that's where I start my day.
Right.
I have the Bible app. I'm not telling you I'm sitting there doing a Bible study for 30 minutes. I get on there and I wake up. I'm like, okay, God gave us another day. And I'll look at the scripture and try to just, before I start scrolling, right, and think about the day ahead. And because a lot of times when you feel like you're not getting truth, you're going to get truth there, and you feel it, you know it. There's a peace when you read scripture. And so, but it is the most fascinating space and crazy space. And so if you follow any of our clubs, and
hopefully you do follow all our clubs. Matter of fact, just follow all of our clubs, because there's just a wealth of information that's going to be beneficial to you guys. And like Janet was saying earlier, every day you wake up is a day to feel blessed, but it's also a day to feel like you can improve someone's life. And so be a positive force in their space.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sorry, babe.
Oh, no. That's what we just want to encourage people. We want to just know truth, right? We want peace in life. We want to help people. We want them to have more quality of life. And we've had a variety of people walk in this week off the street.
Yeah.
Heard about Bitcoin. We had one guy pull up, hop out, take a picture of the sign, hop back in the car. He never came in. I was waiting for him to come in so we could meet him, and he just took a picture.
That's okay. You know what? Take a picture, share us, and like us on your socials. We'll take that. Look, if you don't want to come in and you want to take a picture, just try not to blast us. At least say some good things about us. Like, this place is really cool. And so share us on your socials. If
Yeah.
you don't want to join the memberships on any of our clubs, just share us to people who might be interested or want to learn. That's what we're here for, is to help.
Yeah. If you're a member of one of our clubs, we are going to start this weekend a new member kind of orientation. If you've been a member and you kind of feel disconnected, that came through an email this week. If you can't find your email, reach out to us. Go to bitcoinbend.io and send us a message. But that'll be on Saturday mornings at 10 Eastern and Sunday night at 7 Eastern, I believe.
Nathan Kirby's the one that's got that going.
Nathan has it going. And so that's really great to kind of get an overview of everything. Guys, if you join the club, we have like 70 or 80 classes.
80.
Great content to teach. There's so much to learn in this space. It feels like a different language. It can be really confusing and overwhelming. But at the end of the day, none of us really know how these phones work. But if I hit this button that has Todd's cute picture on it, it'll call him. So, with Bitcoin, people don't have to understand the blockchain. They don't have to know all that. But we do want to teach them if they want to learn. And we do want them to know how to buy it safely and store it safely and not be scammed, because there are so many every day, and they walk in here every day and they've trusted the wrong source. So we want to give them a place to trust. So if you live near Sarasota, Florida, we're on, I think it's 2738 Bee Ridge Road. If you are in Massachusetts, we're in Leominster, which is just west of Boston, and it's at 91 Central Street. Here in Nashville, we're 1619 Galleria Boulevard. Plano, Texas, I think it's 8920 Coit Road. I know most of these are.
Coit Road for sure. Yeah.
Now, we're not open in St. Louis, but it's going to be on Manchester, and Bitcoin Bull has been in the chat. He's coming up next.
Who's the owner?
Probably be opening mid-September. Las Vegas is at 160 West Wyoming in Las Vegas. And then hopefully when we get off, I will have a letter of intent sitting in my email for our West Palm Beach location. We're going to be coming to Washington, D.C., Scottsdale.
Miami.
So these are places where you can go in person and take classes and talk to somebody and in person, because this stuff can be maddening. How many of you get caught in a cycle where you got to verify your identity? So yesterday I was trying on, it was one of this channel, it might have been GoDaddy. One of them put me in a loop, and it was verifying my identity, and I'd verify it and it would send me another code. It did it 20 times. It was just, I had to just go, I'll give up today. This won't work. It's maddening.
Well, the funny part about it is, I thought technology was supposed to improve your life, and it seems to me over the last several years it's been there to be the bane of our existence. I mean, I'm like, good grief! It seems like this stuff has gotten worse and worse, and this technology is supposed to be improving our lives, and I'm like, I don't know about you, but it's about to make me pull out what hair I have left out.
Mm-hmm. Well, I was trying to set up a Twitter account yesterday for our private key capital coming soon. And it took all day to I had to do this and I had to do this and I had to verify that and I had to wait on this and I had to wait on that. And it's just takes a lot of patience and it's not quick. Once things are set up, it's great. But I say all that to say, if you're stuck on technology, come in the club. So sometimes Steve sits down we have a lot of retirees as club members. And they understand Bitcoin, but they can't figure their phone out because something weird on it. And a lot of times it's one quick thing that was checked by mistake. And so just know the clubs are here to support. So much exciting things going on right now, So let's see what the Bitcoin price is. Let's check that.
I'm sure it's at 112
sign off
change,
tonight.
Probably.
It's at 112,622.
Yeah, it's up a little bit.
Yeah. And Ethereum's at 4,227. Look at that. What's Litecoin at? So Litecoin's 114.
Oh, wow.
All right, here's another one. I want to see what the debt clock's at. Let's see what our national debt clock. If anyone's never gone there, it's usdebtclock.org. Why is this
Prepare to be shocked, because it's just like constant roll.
The Doge department has saved us $603 billion
with a B, billion,
since January 20th.
But we're how many trillion in debt?
That's 5,300 per person. If
we stop spending.
No, the census is wrong. We don't have 330 million people.
Rabbit hole.
This is a whole nother one.
That's a whole episode up to 6 hours worth of info.
So Bitcoin Ben does a lot of history.
Oh yeah.
Research the census. There's a rabbit hole for you. But if it's not correct, and if they fix it, you're going to see a lot of redistricting happening.
You're going to see a loss of votes too for these bigger states, or quote unquote bigger states. That's the thing, guys. when you've got California and New York and stuff having all these electoral votes, and it's one big scheme, and it's not accurate, and I can tell you because they're all fleeing those states, and that's why they're trying to flood our country with all the illegals and stuff, because they need a new voter base, because the American people who've lived here long enough see it for what it is. It's one big scam.
Yeah. So much going on, right? Every day. It's like, really? That's the thing? Or that happened? Okay. Was there an executive order to make English our national language? Did that just happen?
It did just happen. So I guess that means English only ATMs and, drive-throughs and...
Well, Todd, I mean, I know your other language is West Tennessee.
Well, it is. And I always tell people I can't afford to learn a new language because I'm still trying to learn English at 53 years old. So, hey, every day's a learning experience for this old boy. I can tell you that much.
That's awesome. It always should have been English as a primary language, in my opinion. And you need some consistency because when you grow up and raised, that is the language here, and people should assimilate when they came in from other countries. So back in the 40s, 50s, when people immigrated, they closed it for a while so that those nationalities could assimilate into our country.
Yes. What's
going on is people are coming in and they're demanding that we follow their customs. Like, go back to your country. Don't come to our country and demand that we follow your customs on our soil. Go back to your soil. If you don't like what's here, don't come here. Like, it's very frustrating as an American whose family members have fought in wars, who, are everything. It's hard to see that happening. So I'm really glad to see some things being moved into place to protect our national identity.
Totally. And that's the thing, guys. It's like, we're not asking for anything unrealistic, because if you go to any other country, we're expected to follow their customs, their laws, assimilate if we decide we want to live there. That's the thing. And that's the right thing to do. You should. If I move to, Spain, Russia, El Salvador, wherever in the world, I should assimilate into their society. It's the right thing to do, because you can't just say, hey, you need to change for me. No, that's not how it works, man. You gotta be there for what they ask for.
Yeah. I mean, when you travel abroad, you go to the State Department site, see what's on there, Google, what are their customs? So there might be things we do that might be offensive in that culture.
Yep.
And we want to be considerate of that. But they come here and they don't care. And that's like, why are we the doormat? So I'm glad we're not the doormat as much anymore. I'm going to take us back to a few accounts to follow on Twitter, because we started this talking about media, and there were a few I forgot to mention. The Trump family.
Yep.
I'd like to see what Eric Trump posts, and Donald Trump Jr. and even President Trump. It's interesting. And what was, you said, Right Side News. Right Side News, and that's Trump's daughter-in-law. And then Dennis Porter, that's another one to follow on Twitter. Caitlin Long, she's a great one to follow, looking at the banking system. There's so many things going on. There's so many people to look at and follow. And if you go to someone you really like, you kind of look at who they follow and who they forward, and you can kind of start finding people in the space that are very knowledgeable, that might not have a presence nationally, but you start finding that. And so anyway, we just wanted to talk about, where do you get your information? Where is it true? Where is it factual? How do you know? There's a lot of propaganda, but we got here because Todd was seeking truth and looking at other news sources, and you got to X22 and then start hearing Ben, and here we are, and our eyes are wide open.
Yeah. And really, guys, too, get to know your neighbors. We all hole up. We're the world's worst. It's like, we all want to be hermits now, and that's not a good thing. And which is what they want. They want you to not get out there, talk to your neighbors, get to know one another, go to church, all that stuff. They want you to stay holed up in your house and just live day to day, do your job, come home, watch TV, make your meal, go to bed, rinse and repeat. You're on the hamster wheel. They've got you trapped, and most people don't understand that. And, thanks to Janet, I got off the hamster wheel, and it's the best decision I ever made. And it's thanks to Ben and this whole group that we're involved with, that I'm off the hamster wheel, and now I'm trying to build a better system along with everybody else in our group.
And you're trying to help other people.
Yeah, totally.
We're so excited to be here. We're going to wrap up. It's been a great night. It's Thursday night, and we've been on here an hour and almost 15 minutes.
Good grief. It's bedtime.
Yeah, but I love the evening because we don't have calls coming in because we're on a lot of phone calls. We don't have walk-ins coming in. And I still full-time realtor too. I'm still out showing houses and working both businesses. And so, but Todd, any closing thoughts you want to share?
No, come see us at the club anytime, guys. Janet or myself will give you a tour, or I'll give you a tour. I'll give you a nickel tour, and it'll be fun. We're at 1619 Galleria Boulevard here in Brentwood, Tennessee, 37027. Janet knows the number. I do not.
Yeah. 562-526-0813 will get you to any of our clubs. 562-526-0813. And go to bitcoinbend.io. You'll find everything there. You'll find our clubs, our future clubs. You'll find links to great media under the BBTV. You'll hear about our private key capital that's coming soon. Beef and Bitcoin. We haven't touched on that tonight.
Yeah.
And really, that's also who to follow on X.
Yes.
The Beef
Texas
Initiative
Slim and Texas Slim.
Yeah. So I didn't get a good comprehensive list if I left it, save the best for last, right, Todd?
I'm telling you what, your health starts with what you put in your mouth. And if you want to learn about something and be totally open to a new food source, you need to listen to Texas Slim, because I had an opportunity to meet him when I was in Las Vegas and spend an hour, 15 minutes or so with him, and was blown away. And of course, I grew up in a farming family and stuff. So he was talking my language, and we jived quite well. So Slim and Steve Williams and stuff are doing a great job trying to capture our system, our meat system back, and make it healthy for everyone. So I'm so thankful for those guys and what they put into it. They're hard workers, and which is typical of farmers. You're going to get hardworking people.
Yeah. Texas Slim's been on a mission like Bitcoin Ben.
Yes.
They're a lot alike. And it's really been a neat partnership. And one of the areas, like, we really are starting to develop relationships with our ranchers. And there's a whole area of our country that needs attention and needs support. So if you go to bitcoinbend.io and go to go under Beef and Bitcoin, you'll see information on our program, and follow the Beef Initiative on Twitter. And Sherpa, thank you so much. He said, awesome show. And he said, smash the thumbs up. So if you like the show,
thanks, Sherp.
You're listening, please do the thumbs up. And this will be rerun, and it'll be, you can share this as well. And we thank y'all for being here tonight, listening to us, and let's just share what's on our hearts, what's going on in our lives, what's happening with Bitcoin, and say, okay, so we're here with, what is this, August 21st. I'm dating the show, putting the date on it.
That's all right.
But, it's going to be interesting to see what happens the rest of the month and this fall, because I really think we're going to see that price really go up, maybe October or November. So it's going to be an interesting fall to see what happens. And every time there's a new regulation, gas prices are down, food prices are down. Like, we're starting to see a shift. We need interest rates down. The real estate just really needs a shot in the arm. They need to lower those rates. But so much to do, so much to talk about. We hope everyone has a great evening. Todd?
Guys, like, subscribe, and share if you want more material. We want to keep doing this for you, and the more people we have, the merrier, and we can keep this up. So we enjoy it. We love doing this. It's fun. It's fun to get to do the chats and stuff. I wished I could see what was going on, but I'm on the other end of the table while she's engineering for us. So thanks, guys.
So if it ever gets stuck on Todd while I'm talking, it's just that I didn't hit the button. So there we are, low tech here in Nashville. I just did that wink thing. My daughter's been telling me I'll smile and I wink, and I don't even know it. So got to watch that. But everyone have a great evening. Thank you for joining us, and go to bitcoinbend.io for more information. Have a great night.
Take care, guys. Have a great night.
Thank you.